Namaste, everybody. Good evening to everyone in India and good morning to all in the West. We are happy to get into this webinar 240. We have come a long way, I guess. And the theme in this webinar is an outline of the Amrita Bindu Upanishad. What a beautiful name this Upanishad has. Amrita Bindu. Bindu means drops. Amrita is nectar. Nectar can mean elsewhere the nectar present in flowers. But otherwise, in our Puranas, in our spiritual literature, nectar, Amrita, is that very special, delicious drink, upon taking even a couple of drops of which one becomes immortal. That meaning fits better here for Vedanta. The wisdom of the pure self blesses us with immortality. So, what we will do is, in a breezy style, we will take a look at all the 22 mantras. Before we plunge into the mantras, I must tell you that Pujya Swami Chinmayananji and many other masters regarded this as being from Atharva Upanishad or Atharvana Upanishad, which are the same. However, in some places, in certain publications, the Amrita Bindu Upanishad is considered as belonging to Krishna Yajurveda. If it is Atharva Veda, the Shanti mantra typically is Bhadram Karne Vishnanuyama Deva. If it is from Krishna Yajurveda, the Shanti mantra in the beginning is Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu. Let's go straight into the mantras, and at this point, let me open a few simple PowerPoint slides. Here we are, share screen. Oh, please enable sharing of screens. Now it should be possible. Just a minute. Okay. Yes. Amrita Bindu Upanishad, an outline. On this day, March 12, 2023, even as all of you friends from Northern America have got up to realize the beginning of daylight saving, and therefore it is 8 a.m. in the Pacific time zone, and correspondingly other time points at other places. In India, we have been having this webinar at 8:30 p.m. on Sundays. That does not change for people in India. All right, we need to get into the Upanishad, which actually promises to take us beyond time. This phenomenal world is in space and time, and high spirituality is not about the phenomena, it is about noumenon. There is a certain word, phenomenon and noumenon. Keralites will be very happy to know that this entire universe is either phenomenon or noumenon. As you know, in Kerala, they have the surname Menon. Yes, the Vedanta is to show to us noumenon, which is beyond time and space. Anyway, the most quoted mantras from this Amrita Bindu Upanishad are the first two. They are simple in their construction and they have a very practical message. The first two mantras out of 22 mantras we have in Amrita Bindu Upanishad declare that our mind can be either of one kind or of the second kind. There are two kinds of the mind. Simple Sanskrit here. Mano hi dvividham proktam shuddham cha ashuddham eva cha ashuddham kama sankalpam shuddham kama vivarjitam. Today, a short video did the rounds over WhatsApp. Many of you must have seen it. Some lady in India has given a very quick 2 minutes review of a book by some Westerner. It's about dopamine. It seems when people eat ice cream, people go shopping, people do something else which gives quick pleasure, then dopamine in our body, in our brain rises. And when dopamine rises, one feels so happy. Therefore, one gets addicted, whether it is ice cream or shopping or watching a movie or varieties of sense pleasures. The Upanishad had said long back, when you become enslaved to desires on the plane of sense objects and sense organs, that mind is ashuddha. And look at the second mantra. Without mincing words, the second mantra says, both bondage and liberation are caused by your mind. If your mind is chasing the rise in dopamine, then it causes bondage. If the mind has seen through the game of these hormones, these secretions, these chemicals rising, secreting in your body, your mind through Viveka has seen that this is a trap, I must keep away from it, then that mind, nirvishayam, which doesn't chase the dopamine, rise in dopamine, I should say, leads you to liberation. Every one of us has to decide whether we want bondage or liberation. I must hasten to add, we are not talking about political bondage, not about economic bondage, not about 100 other kinds of bondage. The bondage that Vedanta talks about is sorrow, is fear, is worry, is regret, is anxiety, is low self-esteem, is lack of motivation, is feeling low energy levels. If any of us is suffering from one of these, two of these, or many of these, then we are bound. And what does it mean to be liberated? Whether the energy is low or high, we feel okay. Whether we get good food to eat or someday the food is not all that good, we are okay. We are in high spirits internally. One doesn't have to be jumping up and down. Therefore, the beauty of this Vedanta message is we could be old, we could be, in an ordinary sense of the word, low in energies, we could be slow, we could have low memory, we could have, varieties of limitations. We could be even bedridden, we could be on a wheelchair. Vedanta doesn't care. Please never imagine Vedanta is not the cup of tea for people on wheelchair. Wheelchair has nothing to do with the realization that the Vedanta talks about. Mana eva manushyānām kāranam bandha-mokshayoh bandhāya vishayāsaktam muktyai nirvishayam smritam. train your mind. Make your mind see through the game of Maya. Maya makes everybody fall, everybody get caught. And today, like if I may quote one more last time, this modern science is putting it all in the language of so many secretions of different hormones and so on. Don't be a person who chases rising dopamine. Find the same happiness in the pure self that you are. You have infinite amount of happiness within you. Why do you have to go with a begging bowl? I want coffee, I want tea. Can I get a sweet? Can I enjoy some music? And can we have somebody who will come and praise me? All these, cause a rise of dopamine. Somebody praises, you feel, so good. And next day, no one is coming to you, you feel go to the low. Why do you want to go high and low? That should not happen. Therefore, how nicely the Upanishad has said, Muktiyai, if you want liberation, Nirvishayam Smritam, Nirvishayam Manaha Smritam. Make your mind independent of what happens around you. Live a responsible life, do your duties, try for success, but suppose there is no success in a certain matter, just say, well, my Vedanta tells me that I can be happy in failure too. For what people call failure is not really everything. Today it is failure, tomorrow I will succeed. It goes on. Life is like that. In spite of these ups and downs, I will draw from the pure self. Now it continues with a bit of serious advice. Yato nirvishayasyasya manaso muktirishyate. Because if the mind is nirvishaya, that is freed from its dependence on external objects, including praise and appreciation and other things, yataha, because it is so, make your mind free of such dependence. You may say, but it is so natural for us to expect appreciation and to feel bad at criticism. Yes, it may look natural, but you have the ability. That's where spirituality comes in. You work towards success, you work towards appreciation, but for some reason, this mad society does not value you. Mad society has its own yardsticks. This society may praise you only if you have a lot of money. Spirituality outrightly says you don't need a lot of money to be happy. Some money you need. Nobody says we sleep under a tree. Some money you need, a place to stay at, some decent food, some clothes, and a few friends. But the society says few friends would not do. You must have hundreds and thousands of fans. I believe now younger generation is so bent upon having maximum likes in their Facebook or all those media places. Maximum people say, "Oh, I liked your post. Oh, I like you. Oh, so likes." They want maximum fans on the media. Vedanta says it is so foolish. If you have a few people around you and they love you and you love them, then you are happy. Nirvishayam manaha kartavyam karyam. Make your mind free of Vishaya. Free of Vishaya means free of dependence on gross and subtle external stimuli. And the first further the mantra says, Nirasta Vishaya Sangam Sanniruddham Manohridi Yada Ayati Atmano Bhavam Tada Tat Paramam Padam. This conditioned mind, this programmed mind, this mind which has been acting as per the influence of external stimuli needs to be awakened, and it has to be brought into the core of our being called Hrit, the heart, which is no other than the Shuddha Atma of the Vedanta. Atmano bhavam yada manaha ayati tat paramam padam. Therefore, in Indian spirituality, we have always considered enlightened women and men to be anchored in the pure self. They are not anchored in senses, in the mind, or in the buddhi, intellect. They use them, but they are not stuck there. They are primarily rooted in the pure self. And how on the earth are we to find the pure self? There are two practices. Study. Study includes contemplation, reflection, and other one is practice quietening the mind. How long should we practice quietening of the mind? This beautiful, logical Amrita Bindu Upanishad answers that. The fifth mantra, Tavadeva nirodhavyam yavad hridi gatam kshayam etad jnanam cha dhyanam cha shesho nyayascha vistaraha. Very practical advice. Someone like Ramana Maharshi would prescribe this, recommend this, because rather than taking you round and round in all kinds of philosophical concepts, within 5 mantras, this Upanishad comes to the central point. Restrain your mind, lovingly, caringly, patiently pull your mind back from its habitual, race. It tries to go towards eatables, drinks, music, dance, and so on and so forth. Sometimes there are some people who just want to go on talking, that gives them pleasure. When I meet such people, there was a driver in Bangalore in Uber. I was going by Uber. Oh my God. I got down at the airport. I had to go to South Bangalore. This Uber driver was continuously talking to me. Sir, where have you come from, sir? What do you do, sir? Are you married, sir? Are you? And I had to answer. After some time, I folded my hands and said, I need to read something. Maybe it gives him a kick. Maybe for him, dopamine rises if he is talking to some people. So, withdraw. And the fifth mantra says, recognize your bad habits. You have a habit to talk too much, maybe. You have a habit to eat too much, maybe. You have a habit to sleep too much, maybe. Whatever. Identify and withdraw the mind. And how long should I control the mind? Yavad hridi gatam kshayam. Till your mind completely stays in the pure self. The pure self, we will examine what that pure self is. Shuddha Atma, Asamsari Atma, the Atma which has no birth and no death and all that. Otherwise, there is the Samsari Atma about which we say, may the soul be reborn in a good place and so on. So that which is born again, that which goes through repeated births is not the pure self. The pure self is the ultimate truth of our existence. And the fifth mantra says, if you understand these essentials, that is jnana, highest wisdom. That is dhyana, meditation. And to simply gather philosophical knowledge is all nyaya and vistara. Nyaya means logic. You become more and more logical, but you have missed the central point. And vistara is unnecessary details. And now comes an interesting point. The Upanishad in the next mantra says, though we are asking you to deal with the mind, calm the mind, quieten the mind, or educate the mind spiritually, Really speaking, the truth is not within the reach of mind. Mind is a tool. You got to use it up to a certain point and then let go of all concepts. Naiva chintyam na cha chintyam na chintyam chintyameva tatmeva cha pakshapata vinirmuktam brahma sampadhyate tada. To even think that Brahma or Atma, the highest truth, can be conceived is an error. You cannot conceive it. So it's beyond concepts. And to put it in another box, oh, it is inconceivable. I know where it belongs. Once you put it in this box or that box, it is not something to be boxed, not something to be classified. Therefore, na chintyam. From impure thoughts, we go to pure thoughts, but then a point comes where it is not about thought anymore. It is just to be. If you appreciate that, stay in contemplation upon that understanding. Therefore, the fourth word says Chintyameva. Pakshapata Vinirmuktam. Paksha means this box or that box, this side or that side. Democrats or Republicans, Congress or BJP, West or East, North India or South India. Everywhere there are two sides, right? Brahma does not belong to any such sides. Brahma is in everything. Brahma is not affected by anything. Therefore, quieten your mind, study Vedanta, know yourself to be that pure truth. If it is too hard, seventh mantra says, Swarena sandhayed yogam. If you say this is very interesting, but I can't contemplate on that kind of indescribable awareness or existence, then swara. Swara here refers to omkara. Repeat oh, oh. With the help of repetition of om, sandhayet, you may slowly connect to higher and higher levels. And at the right point, aswaram bhavayet. At the right point, when you have gathered adequate purity as well as reduction in number of thoughts, let go of om, aswaram bhavayet. Swara is om, aswara, without even om. And it is there, aswarena anubhavena na abhavaha bhavaishyate. So you find that what appeared to be impossible, abhava, becomes possible, bhava. Oh, now I know what the Upanishads were all the time saying. It is, and I am that. Sadeva nishkalam brahma nirvikalpam niranjanam tad brahmahamiti jnatva brahma sampadhyate dhruvam. Yes, in that moment of intuitive understanding, you know, what I am is Brahma, has no parts, Nishkala, partless, and it has no choices, Nirvikalpa. It has no impurity of any kind. No sin ever touches this. Niranjana. I am that Brahma. In this way, one must know. And Nirvikalpam Anantancha Hetu Drishtanta Varjitam. During the earlier journey of Vedanta study, lot of logic, lot of cause and effect, lot of illustrations, examples, metaphors, parables. Oh, all were given. But as you go higher, all of them have to be left behind. It is aprameyam. It is immeasurable, anadi, beginningless. Knowing that, Buddha muchyate. Now comes the tenth mantra, yes, which, for your information, is also found in Gaudapada's explanatory verses on Mandukya Upanishad. Mandukya Upanishad has 12 mantras, and Gaudapada has written some 200 karikas, shlokas. There the same 10th mantra comes, which I tell you is mind-blowing. Na nirodha, na cha utpattihi, na baddha, na cha sadhakaha, na mukshuhu, na vai muktaha, iti esha paramarthata. This is the height of Vedanta. It is like, therefore the little graphic also shows, wake up, Sid. Wake up, Sid happened to be a movie some years ago. So for fun we have it, Wake up, Sid. Don't ask me who is Sid. Sid. All of us are Sids. All of us have to wake up. When we wake up, we find that the little I, which was seeking liberation, itself was an illusion. And the little self, the little I, which was after control of the mind, nirodha, and which was getting agitated over again a thought rising, utpatti, which used to conclude, I am bound, I don't know how, when I will be liberated. That notion, I am bound, these are all in what we call avidya bhumi. It is all in the domain of error. Really speaking, when you wake up from not the ordinary sleep, from spiritual sleep, you realize that all that was not really valid. All that was a certain relative truth. Now you are with the absolute. Eka evatma mantavyah jagrat swapna sushuptishu sthanatraya vyatitasya punarjanmana vidyate. 95% of Vedic wisdom endorses a certain jivatma. It says you and I are jivatmas, and it warns us, don't live a sinful life, live a meritorious life. If you live sinful life, your next life will be very bad. If you live a punya, meritorious life, your next birth will be great. 95% of the Vedas talk about that. But the 5% of the Vedas is Upanishads. And we are presently studying one. Upanishads say, what are you talking? Punarjanma na vidyate. Through jnana, through right seeing, you can invalidate that jivatma. Therefore, what was said about the transmigrating soul is not utterly invalid, but it loses its validity in the final awakening. In waking, in dream, in deep sleep, you are that. But alas, you do not recognize, you do not realize. To help you realize that is the very purpose of the Upanishads. Rest of the Upanishad now gives delicious illustrations. For example, it first says, Jala Chandravat, 12th mantra. Eka eva hi bhutatma bhute bhute vyavastitah ekada bahudha chaiva drishyate jala chandravat. Moon in the sky is one. You look up, he is one. If you look at a number of buckets filled with water, you see a reflection of the moon in every one of them. It appears to be many. So are there many moons or is there a single moon? In reality, there is a single moon. Likewise, Eka eva atma bhute bhute. In you, me, in a crawling ant and in a big elephant, there is only one pure self. Then comes the illustration of space and pots. There are a number of earthen pots, let us say, as the graphic shows. If you move the pots, does space move? Really speaking, does a pot have any capacity to restrict space? Space is not bound by pot. Likewise, this realization helps you see you are something which is actually not affected by what happens to the body, mind, etc. Ghatavat vividhakaram vidyamanam punah punah. Even if you break the pot, vidyamanam, tad bhede, when the pot breaks, space doesn't break. However, a pot doesn't know. Pot is ignorant. Na janati. But sa janati. One who has properly studied the Vedanta and done upasana, purified one's mind and so on, janati. The 13th mantra I did not read perhaps. Ghata samvritam akasham niyamano ghate yatha. Ghato niyeta nakashah tadvad jivo nabhopamah. Jiva, really, you go to depth of it, is comparable with space. But we take ourselves to be as though we are the pot, subject to breaking, subject to movement. Really nothing happens at all at the level of the pure self. Yet again, we have this beautiful mantra, 15, Shabdamaya Vrato Naiva. Even number of scholars who know so much of Vedanta remain attached to words and words. Then darkness doesn't leave them. Tamasa. Through darkness, because of ignorance, na yati pushkare. They don't go to that infinite space of the self-realization. Shabdamaya vrato naiva tamasa yati pushkare vinne tamasi chaikatvam eka evanupashyati. Therefore, in the Vedanta, what is emphasized is remove your ignorance. Study with a pure mind removes that ignorance. The Upanishad is so patient with us. It says, Parabrahma is to be appreciated through words in the beginning. Words, like the title of this slide shows, are like a ladder. Shabdaksharam param brahma tasmin kshine yadaksharam tadvidvan aksharam dhyayet yadi ichet shantim atmanaha. If you really want peace, don't run away from your duties, don't run away from your responsibilities, but even as you discharge your responsibilities, keep a little time for Vedanta study. Then you will have peace. Initially, you will find that you are just studying shlokas and mantras and getting lot of concepts. It's a necessary phase. Shabdaksharam. So, Shabda Brahma and Akshara Brahma, there are two. Shabda Brahma is the ladder to the Akshara Brahma. In that sense, the 17 summarizes it. Dve vidye veditavyetu. Broadly speaking, Brahmavidyā is on two levels. Dve vidye. One is Shabda Brahma, another is Param Brahma. Shabda Brahmani Nishnataha Param Brahma Adhigacchati. Dve vidye veditavyam tu veditavyetu Shabda Brahmat Paranchayat Shabda Brahmani Nishnataha Param Brahma Adhigacchati. Though on one hand we say don't get lost in books and books, on the other we caution you. Don't go to the other extreme. I have read enough, now I am only meditate. Because you may forget certain essential understanding. So you need to study. You can reduce your study if you really think you are fit for more and more meditation. But don't say goodbye to study. Shabda Brahma, the study of the right material, again and again does mid-course correction for you so that your meditation really goes higher and higher. Now, two more slides. One more wonderful illustration. Grantham abhyasya medhavi jnana vijnana tatparah palalamiva dhanyarthi tyajet grantham aseshatah. You need to grow. You need to get more mature. Just as somebody winnows, with a winnowing basket, cleans the grains, rice or any other. The grain is taken or retained, the chaff is separated. It may have some use, sometimes cattle eat it, and that we need not go so much into the details of an example. Take the essence, leave the non-essentials. Palalam tyaktavyam, dhanyam svikartavyam. Keep dhanya with you. Like that, take the essential Vedanta, go on contemplating upon it, and don't get carried away by somebody telling, do this also, do that also. Just say thank you. And the second illustration also is so powerful. Gavam anekavarnanam kshirasya api ekavarnata kshiravat pashyate jnanam linginastu gavam yatha. You look around, there are black cows, there are brown cows, there are white cows, there are reddish cows, there are cows with patches of black, white, etc. You get bewildered. And in your ignorance, you may wonder, is the milk also black in this cow? Is the milk red in that cow? No. Kshirasya ekavarnata. Likewise, don't get baffled by there is Ashtavakra Gita, there is Yoga Vasishta, there is Bhagavatam, there is this Upanishad, there is that. Rama Rama, when will I? I think I started too late. Don't get afraid. Even if you have started at the age of 80, no problem. All those number of scriptures talk of one thing. Get to the essence. Take the help of a competent guide. Get to the essence. Linginaha, pointers are many, but what they point to is one only. Gritameva payasi nigudam bhute bhute cha vasati vijnanam satatam manasi manthayitavyam mano manthana bhutena. One after another, illustrations. With a churning rod, manthana, you churn curd or yogurt, get butter, and buttermilk is left behind. And that butter can then be made into clarified butter, ghee. Likewise, when in our ignorance, when we look around, somebody is successful, we envy her, and somebody is such a failure, we pity him. And we have so many notions about ourselves too. Even in the so-called spiritual domain, they talk about this Swami is very successful and that monk with this Lama is a failure. Those who talk like that don't know basics of spirituality. Spirituality is not meant for any kind of success of having large numbers attend your classes or your book selling very well or your ashram being in 155 acres. Those who give importance to those things are in primary class of spirituality. Because true spirituality is a quiet inner awakening. Don't put the same yardsticks which you put in material life. Yes, you may say Ambani's, Adani's, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, somebody. All of them, you know his net worth, you know her net worth. Keep it only to those contexts. When you come to spirituality, keep your mouth shut. If you come to know somebody has not even made a hut for himself, he lives in a hut that somebody has allowed him to stay in, don't make an issue of it. Meet him, ask him, find out what is his understanding. So that is called churning curd, getting the butter and then the clarified butter. What matters is that clarified butter, gritham, Last slide for this session. Jnana netram samadhaya cha uddharet vannivat param. Olden days in Gurukulas, they would have a certain rubbing of two pieces of wood, and a certain rope or thread used to be applied to make that movement. Then fire is kindled, sparks of fire come. With that, the Agnihotra and some basic homas done every day are performed. Employing that setting, the mantra says that making sparks come out of the friction between two pieces of wood is wonderful. Here, you must actually use the rope, Dana Netra. Netra here is rope. Use the rope of proper Vedanta study. Let it make sparks of spiritual insights rise in you. Then you will know you are Nishkala. You are partless. You never succeeded. You never failed. All that was like a dream. And you cried over it. That crying also was part of the dream. You were okay. You are okay. You will ever be okay. Nishkalam, Nishchalam, Shantam, Tad Brahma Aham iti Smritam. The Upanishad ends with an obeisance, homage to Lord Vasudeva. Take Vasudeva to Vishnu to be Sri Krishna, or Vasudeva can mean Deva, the divine principle, Vasu, Vasati, that dwells in everybody's heart. Sarva Bhutadi Vasam Yat Bhuteshu Cha Vasati Api Sarva Anugrahakatvena Tadasmi Aham Vasudeva. This is both a prayer as well as a reaffirmation, reiteration of every one of us actually being divine. Let me conclude saying, as you see higher Vedanta, it is not at all about reaching anywhere. It is about recognizing where you are, and you will be fine. It's not about running after some success. It's not the mad competition in the world. You become, let us say, spiritual aspirant, and if you think, I've started late, but I will catch up, I will be ahead of others. That thinking is wrong. There is no others. This so-called others and I and who is ahead, who is behind, is all part of that mess of spiritual ignorance. Do not waste energy on either envying others or looking down at them, or being proud of yourself or being ashamed of yourself. This pride, this shame, this thinking of somebody as high, thinking of somebody as low, it has a place in certain vyavahara. Don't be so much carried away by vyavahara. Vyavahara, yes. Tomorrow, if you are running an ashram and one student is disturbing the ashram a lot, you need to ask him to go. Vyavahara requires some judgment only in a certain context. In 1993, or maybe end of 1992, I asked Pujya Swami Chinmayananji, there is this student who is very bright but who is not disciplined, who creates some disturbance in this ashram. I thought Pujya Swamiji would tell me, I was the Acharya of 91 to 93 course. Swamiji would tell me, as the Acharya, you must be compassionate. Don't take all that to heart. What Swami Chinmayananji said to me was shocking. He did not even ask me more questions. In 3-4 sentences, I said, this boy is very bright and he has good qualities, but time and again he breaks the rules of the ashram. He doesn't care so much for the so-called discipline. Swamiji roared, throw him out, and walked away. And when we removed that student, that is Vyavahara. Pujya Swami Chinmayananji was giving Vedanta lectures so beautifully. But when it came to handling matters at the right place, he would use so-called, what you call it, the discipline. And at the right place, he was very compassionate. Therefore, that viveka is to be awakened in us. We should not mix it up in the wrong context. Therefore, Amrita Bindu Upanishad is worth studying once in a while. It has all these gems, and as the title rightly meant, the truths that can become visible to you in this Amrita Bindu Upanishad, if not making you immortal, can definitely give you a kind of new life. Ha! I am relieved. Oh my God, I was feeling so low. This now has given me new hope. I think I am as good as anyone else, etc. Your low self-esteem, your some kind of inferiority, etc. will just go into thin air by proper study of the Amrita Bindu Upanishad. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om.